Right, apparently we are live. What's good, people? So, like I said, man, this is the first quality over quarantine interview. We're still trying to work out the some technical difficulties, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So, I'm just gonna go straight into it, man. First interview, we got the one and only Phili for life Cypher. What you saying,
What's up,
bro?
You good?
Yeah,
You good?
I'm blessed.
Can you hear me?
Blessed. I can hear you good. I don't know if
Cool.
they
What's
can
up?
hear us, but they're there. Guys, if you got... Alright, listen, this is how we're gonna do it. You lot let me know if anything goes wrong, you lot just let me know. The comments are live. I believe the comments are live. If the comments aren't live, I don't know how you're gonna let me know, but I can see you lot are there. So please hit us up with the comments. We're gonna have a conversation. If you got questions, then you can put those down as well. Let us know, you know what I mean, what we're doing. Like I said, at the moment, yeah, this is all new to me, man. So I'm just trying to work things out and trying to get things working, and you know what I mean.
But man just using me as a guinea pig right now. So.
Yeah. You know the ones it's like, oh yeah, I want to do this, yeah, but I can only really chat to my real brethren on the app right now, man.
Nah, that's all good. That's all good, man.
Yeah, so
I'm happy to help out.
Nah, big up, man. Big up. So, yeah, I got this little sound effects. Hey. Alright.
Man, busting sound effects, you know.
Phili.
I can't hear that from my end though, still. But
hopefully they can
if
hear.
I turn it up here, it's gonna get bare feedback as well, though, isn't it?
Maybe, yeah. But hopefully they can see it on the live. What I'm gonna do actually, I'm gonna go up on the live.
It's cool. I can hear you and I can hear me, so it's cool.
Alright, cool. That's all good. But yeah, man. So how have things been in this? Let's start from where we are right now, man. In this lockdown period, man.
Yeah.
How's things been going, and how's the family?
It's been a madness for me still, man. So it's like I'm enjoying it to a certain degree. Just being able to, like I was saying to you earlier, just being able to just switch off and kind of find some time to just do me again, really. Do you know what I mean? And kind of like refocus on things as well. You know what I mean? So I'm enjoying that to that degree. I'm getting frustrated to the point where I'm kind of getting mad at having to just walk around my four walls in my house all the time and not see much more. I'm doing madness like just going out the front of my house just to get a different view for a minute. You know what I mean? But luckily, I'm into my bikes and things. You know what I mean? So the fact that we can still do a piece of exercise and I can go out for a couple of hours and release a little piece, you know what I mean? That for me is a blessing. If we go on a full lockdown, boy, that'll send me crazy. I know that.
You know what's mad as well? So for the first 3 weeks, I didn't leave the house. So didn't step outside the house. And yeah, like for me as well, I like going gym every day, innit? So it's definitely been like,
yeah.
I feel like I'm just wasting away here. But then I went for a walk yesterday morning, early, thinking I want to get out before anybody's out there so I can just be on my own and just quick 2 laps around the park here. But the dog walkers are all out there, like everyone's got their like.
Coming like Piccadilly.
I tell him, I was like,
Coming
to my
like
wife,
Piccadilly Circus side, isn't it?
I was like, you guys like carnival, man. There's like 4 people out here. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So,
I've never seen so many people on bikes in my life. And everybody jogging all over the place, boy. But
crazy.
If it gets us all fit, it's cool. Do you know what I mean? But we'll soon see how many people continue with that after it. Do you know what I mean?
For real. Yeah.
It's good though. But even apart from that though, even just to be able to have the time to be able to get on with some music and get some like music finished as well. Do you know what I mean? I've got people have been waiting for verses from me for the longest time. Do you know what I mean? So I'm finally committing myself to saying, right, you know what? Through this lockdown, I'm getting those verses out of the way so that I don't have to sweat every time I get a message off that person thinking, damn, this person's asking for this verse again. You know what I mean? So
I'm in the same boat as well, man. I owe so many verses, and now it's like it's one of the ones that people know you're home, innit? So it's like when they go,
they know you're home.
They're like, yo,
and then you're releasing your own music. You know what I mean? It's like, hang on a minute, how are you releasing your own music? Yeah, you know, it's like going and buying a draw off someone. You ain't paid the debt off to someone else.
And I'm the worst for that as well, because people will send me a track and be like, yo, can you do a verse? And I'll be like, yeah, when I get to it, then I'll drop an EP like the day after, and they're like, yo, where's my verse? I'm like, I had the energy for me, I just didn't have the energy for you. That's all it was. Like,
for everyone else, it's that as well. But you kind of like got to prioritize things like that as well. You know what I mean?
For real.
But yeah, if you are waiting for a verse from me, the whole tight is coming. It's coming. By the end of 2020, you'll have it. Trust me.
That's deep, man. It's deep. But apart from that, everything blessed though. Everything good.
Yeah, everything's been blessed, man. You know what I mean, I've been because I work. I don't know if whoever don't know, I work for a charity called St Giles Trust. So we work with youths that basically they're on the fringe of serious youth violence, county lines, and drug dealing, and so on. So with the lockdown, it's kind of making it hard to be able to engage with these kids and be able to. You can't do no face-to-face visits, obviously. Do you know what I mean? So we're just making calls like twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, just to try and make sure that the youths are staying in and kind of like got everything they need to try and keep them occupied and keep their minds occupied, and encourage them to exercise and everything as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's to a degree, it's been like herding cats, just trying to keep some of these kids inside their house and stop them from carrying on with their madness out on the street. But to a degree, it's helped to a certain degree because a lot of the kids just aren't going out. So a lot of the youth violence that was there before isn't there anymore. But things are changing every day. Things are changing every day right now with this. So, do you know what I mean? You've got to kind of like just keep your eye out and kind of like look out for the trends of what the kids might be getting up to next week and the week after that, really. Do you know what I mean? So,
the thing.
Apart from that, it's cool.
I think like they haven't really they haven't adjusted yet. So at the moment, everyone's kind of the youth violence is down. Shotters are still out there; they're still doing their thing, but the youth violence is down because again, no one's really adjusted to the new normal at the moment. So everyone's just kind of falling back and thinking how they. But obviously, within the next couple of weeks, people are really going to adjust to. If this is what it is, this is what it is. And so yeah, you're right, man. You kind of have to be vigilant into how are things changing. Because these kids, man, like. They're geniuses, man. They'll find ways around anything.
Yeah, they'll find ways. And the longer this goes on for, is the more time it gives them to find ways to do it. And they'll just get complacent and be like, you know what, I don't care, I'm going out and I'm doing what I've got to do. You know what I mean? So police and the army can't be everywhere all the time. You know what I mean? So
it's mad. So let's rewind back here. To
all the way.
Let's go all the way back. So obviously you're a Lutonian.
Luton born and bred.
Okay, so you're
big up L Town. Yep, big up L Town each and every time, for real.
See, I wasn't born in Luton, but I was adopted by Luton at a very young age, yeah.
So... No, you got embraced by Luton. You got embraced by Luton, man. You got the key, don't worry.
Like I came here when I was 11, so yeah, man. But it was definitely a culture shock, and it's funny because I feel like. Especially at that time, coming from Brixton to Luton, people thought Luton was sweet, innit? But like, Luton was never sweet.
Luton was never been sweet. You know what I mean, people always just kind of used to refer it to the country just because you're coming out of London to come down up north. Do you know what I mean? So I can understand why people were going to think like that, but you can come here for 5 minutes and then realise it ain't country like that. You know what I mean? So. You go Lucy Farm or Marsh Farm for 5 minutes, boy. Believe me, they'll show you country. Trust me.
Like, for real. And actually, it's funny because when I first moved, we was in Marsh Farm. So we was in the day we moved. I remember moving down with my WWF posters and like I remember hitting there and I remember being told, Marsh Farm, that's the ends in it. Yeah, you need to watch out. And I remember seeing it and being like, but there's like. There's fields, there's grass, there's green. Like, it can't be all that. Yeah. And then met a few people, and it was nuts, innit? But how did you find growing up in Luton?
You know what? Because I've never known any different. You know what I mean? The only kind of time I really knew different was as I got older. I kind of got into the different things I was into, like BMXing and breakdancing and things like that, which kind of broadened my horizons to go to different places. You know what I mean? But for me. But Luton for me was because I grew up in Sundon Park. Yeah. So for me, it was where Sundon Park was never really as ghetto as Marsh Farm or anything like that. I was kind of protected up to a certain age until I went to high school, which was in Marsh Farm. You know what I mean? So I got sent to school in Marsh Farm, kicking and screaming, thinking, why the hell are you sending me to a school in a different estate, in this ghetto estate as well? Do you know what I mean? What the hell are you doing? I mean, I was screwing for probably the first week. You know what I mean? But it turned out to be the best thing my parents could have done for me simply because it broadened my horizons to meet different people from different estates and not just be secluded in this tiny little bubble of Sundon Park. You know what I mean? So for me, growing up in Luton, it's such a multicultural town as well. You can't turn one corner without seeing all sorts of mixed races or whatever not down here. Do you know what I mean? So for me, that's what I like about that. Do you know what I mean? Rather than looking at it as a negative, which a lot of your people like to do with your EDLs and whatever. Not, I don't really want to bring them into the conversation or anything like that. But Luton's got a bad name for that. When if you live down here, you'll realise it's not really about that at all. Do you know what I mean? There are no-go. There's no-go zones or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing like what's portrayed out to be. And people always call it like the shittiest town in the country and whatever. Not, you know what I mean? And for me, I love the town. You know what I mean? There's places all over the place that I hate and places that I love. Do you know what I mean? And for me, there's loads to hate about my town. You know what I mean? Like the town centre is one thing to hate about the town. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to shit on my town just for that. You know what I mean? So, you've got bad attitude.
It's funny.
No, I don't change at all. We don't change at all.
I had a meeting there a little while ago. Actually, I was doing a talk in like around the town centre, and it was probably the first time I've been there, especially like the town centre for maybe like 10 years. And I was kind of walking around and everything's changed. Like the Arndale Centre ain't the Arndale Centre no more. But like,
no more.
it's the same shape, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
And I even went to the market, and I was like, the market's all changed, and it was like
change up as well. Yeah.
I felt like, you know, like when you go to a ghost town, yeah. But I felt like I was the ghost. Yeah. Everyone else was alive, and I was just walking through like, rah, where's everything gone? Like everything's changed. I didn't recognize no people. Like before, that's a place where you go, you see everybody. I was walking through, I didn't recognize anybody.
Trust me.
It's mad.
Anyone, yep, trust me. I remember a day, there's not one day I could walk through the Arndale Centre and not see at least 10 or 20 people that I knew. Yeah, and for me, just doing an all-day shopping trip, it would take me, a 10-minute shopping trip would take me about an hour just to have different people I'm chatting to on the way, you know what I mean? These days, I'm in and out. I don't see nobody I know. I literally I feel like a stranger in my own town certain times, do you know what I mean? And like you say, the layout's completely changed as well, do you know what I mean? And I ain't even gone nowhere. I've been here the whole time, but it even feels different to me like that, do you know what I mean? But people's attitudes will always still stay the same in this town. Do you know what I mean? They will. I hate to even call it a small town mentality. It's not a small town mentality. It's just that because the town's smaller, everybody kind of knows each other. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Or you know of someone who knows that somebody. Do you know what I mean? So because of that, it kind of like I always like to call it like the Brussels sprout of London's cabbage. Whereas London is this cabbage, where Luton is a Brussels sprout. It's got as much madness going on packed up in this tiny little town. You know what I mean? So
you know the funny thing though, I always see because Luton is very much like London, so it really could be a borough of London, but it's just removed out of London. But then the problem with that is it's a lot bigger than a London borough. So there is so much madness going along, and then obviously like you're talking about moving from Sundon Park to Marsh Farm. And people outside of Luton might think, are you in the same area? It's like, nah, it's not like that.
Nah,
like, the same way, like Lee Grave, Marsh Farm, Lucy Farm, Hot Crow Ring, like everywhere's different. They're not the same. Like they're very close to each other, but it's a whole different ecosystem in each one.
Listen, I'll never forget the time I went to Lucy Farm, because I probably didn't even really hit Lucy Farm until I was like 13, 14.
See,
I thought I was in a different city. Literally, because them lot, they had their own slang and everything down. I was like, well, who are these lot? You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of people that I've never come across before in my life. You know
let's not even get into South Luton. Let's not even get into South Luton, man. South Luton's a whole
no, trust me, I forget that. I ain't getting that. To be honest, I've been here 45 years and I ain't even really ventured into South Luton myself, but I don't really know it too
Hey, big up Emerson, man. Big up Emerson. That's what I know from South Luton.
Big up Emerson. Real. Big up.
So, how did you find
every time
getting into hip hop? When did you get into hip hop? And how was the introduction?
For me, I was always like into breakdancing, and I used to be in like body popping and the graffiti side of everything. So for me, I dabbled and tried to DJ for probably about a day and found out I wasn't any good at it, so I didn't bother with that at all. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I used to I was always listening to hip hop, listening to electro, listening to breakdance music, whatever not, and I was breaking and popping, and then got into the graffiti, and then all of that just kind of went hand in hand with it. Do you know what I mean? And because I've never really been one for like kind of like your normal sports that most of my friends would be into, so I've never really into football or anything like that. So because I was into BMXing and them kind of things, I always kind of like gravitated towards kind of like creative kind of arts and different things like that anyway. Do you know what I mean? So then kind of like got out of hip hop hard when the whole jungle thing came, and then I was just bang on the jungle and drum and bass, and I was taking these like crazy and just at every rave that you could think of. Do you know what I mean? So big up Exodus as well. Believe each and every time. And then probably somewhere around 97, 98, and like me and Life and Nappa, we've been friends throughout the whole time. And that, big up Phoenix. Me, Life, and Nappa, we've been friends throughout that whole period with the whole drum and bass thing. And Life had been consistently doing the hip hop thing really anyway. Do you know what I mean? And he came out of jail, and then he was going on Kiss FM with Napa quite a few times. Do you know what I mean? And I kept on hearing this UK style of rap. Do you know what I mean? Because for me, I used to like UK rap, but I never really got into it hard. Do you know what I mean? I used to love my Demon Boys, London Posse. Do you know what I mean? And for me, I mean, that's what UK hip hop was about. Do you know what I mean? And MC Duke, big up MC Duke if you're watching as well. But I kind of like, because I just kind of like fell out of the love of hip hop, wasn't really listening to it, and then I heard Life and heard Napa, and then for me, because he was a local, someone local in Luton as well. Do you know what I mean? It made it more accessible and made it more a reality that, you know what, I could probably do this too. You know what I mean? And then was probably rapping to myself for probably about a year, like in secret to nobody. Do you know what I mean? And just writing down lyrics, rewriting other people's lyrics as well. Do you know what I mean? And then just kind of like just getting into the whole flow of the thing, really. Do you know what I mean? And kind of like just trying to decide what I liked about rap and what I could do with it if I was going to do it, type of thing. Do you know what I mean? So, and then I think it must have been about '98. I was in a nightclub with Life and Napa in Luton. It was literally I think it was a drum and bass night. We was there. Then I mustered up the courage just to be like, you know what? Let me just go and spit this verse to Life and see what he thinks of it. Do you know what I mean? It was a rap about pork, and I can't even remember what the hell. I can't remember what I cannot remember the life of me what it was now, but mustered up the courage to go and rap it into his ear. Do you know what I mean? And then happily he was impressed. Do you know what I mean? So then from there we kind of like just started hanging together musically a little piece. You know what I mean? And then For Life Cypher was born from that, really. So, and then the first tune we did was a tune called The Shining.
See.
Right. And then we sent that into Tim Westwood. Westwood was having this competition at the time. I think it was called Talent 2000. It was in 2000, and we submitted our tune called The Shining. And we sitting by the radio every Friday night waiting to hear if he was going to play it. And then one Friday night he played it, and then kept on getting played, and it basically just snowballed from that, really. I mean, we didn't win the competition, sadly. I think I don't even remember who the hell it was who won it. Do you know what I mean? But whoever it was who won it, you didn't really hear their tune after it for too long. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm going to have to apologise for how much I don't remember in this as well, because it feels like years ago now. Talking like 20, 25 years ago. So it'll probably come back to me halfway through the interview, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that thing there.
Nah, that's cold. Because I was like, actually, no, before I get into like how I came to know about you guys, how like being from, my introduction to UK hip hop, and I guess it's kind of a little bit, I don't know, I'm a little bit biased as well, because again, when I really got into UK hip hop, I wasn't from London. I wasn't in London. I was in Luton.
Same.
And even after that, I was in Harrow, so I was never in what you would say this is London. So whenever I heard people saying there was a bias against outside of London rappers, I never really felt it, because at the same time, my favorite group was obviously For Life Cypher. It was Out the Ville. It was MSI and Asylum. Again, along with the London guys as well. So to me, it was kind of like, I never really felt it. But did you ever feel not being from London hindered you in any way?
But to a degree, not really that much. But for the first time I actually really felt it was the first time that me and Life decided to go to an open mic in London.
Okay.
And I remember the first time we like see Mud Fam, Chester P, Farmer G, all that. It's the first time we see Skinny Man, all them lot. Do you know what I mean? So for me, where I'd kind of like just fresh got into UK hip hop, do you know what I mean? So this was the first time I'd kind of laid my eyes on any of these guys. Do you know what I mean? It's the first time I'd ever even touched a mic in front of an open mic. You know what I mean? Into a crowd. You know what I mean? So I remember going up on the stage and my leg was shaking like crazy through the whole verse I was doing. Do you know what I mean? But just to see the crowd actually took to it and they liked it. Do you know what I mean? So then that for me was literally the switch in my head that made me say, you know what? Yeah, we can do this. You know what I mean? But just because we did come from the simple fact that like when we rapped, because we didn't sound like we came from London.
Yeah.
We didn't sound like we were born under the Bow Bells or anything like that. We kind of like had hate on us from that really anyway. Do you know what I mean? But then at the same time, it balanced out, because there was a lot of people who did like us because we didn't rap with that Cockney accent and sounded different to a degree. Do you know what I mean? When I first started rapping, I literally just sounded like I just taken an American pill and were just spewing out every American bit of slang I could think of. Do you know what I mean? But that's because that was the hip hop I was listening to. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't listening to no UK rappers. Do you know what I mean? So for me, emulating hip hop was me emulating those rappers that I liked the sound of. Do you know what I mean? It was only as I got more confident with the sound of my own voice and realising I didn't need to do that at all. Do you know what I mean? And that's what basically, and then just developed after that into doing that. Do you know what I mean? But for me, I believe that to a degree, it helped us to stand out from the crowd of the rest of the UK hip hop because we weren't from London.
Yeah.
Because we weren't from London. Sorry,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So, I mean, at the same time, 9 times out of 10, we got shown love from many of the UK acts and London acts, really. Anyway, do you know what I mean? And we always tried to work with, like I say, MSI Asylum and Out the Ville and people like that as well. Do you know what I mean? So, for me, that's kind of like one of the regrets of in the UK as well. I used to wish that UK hip hop would collaborate a lot more across borders rather than just being just people from London working with people in London and vice versa with different towns and different cities and things like that. Do you know what I mean? I think if we had cross border and did a lot more collaborative work, like one of my favourite ever hip hop tunes was These Are the New School when they collaborated with Tribe Called Quest and with Scenario. Do you know what I mean? And for me, because it just brought so many different flavours together. Do you know what I mean? That's for me what I used to love about hip hop. Do you know what I mean? I think if there was a lot more of that, it would have held UK hip hop together a lot more. Like you see what's going on with the grind and that now.
Because I think as well, like some of my favourite projects, especially in that time, were like skits.
Skits, Fingerprints of the Gods and things like that. You see what I'm saying?
So as well as Mark B and Blade, like that idea of bringing MCs together from different places. And I always as well, I always feel like, me personally, I'm a kind of person, if I feel like I like a track, I like a track. And I've never really been a kind of person to be like, they're not from here, they're not from there, they're not about this, they're not about that. And I feel like at that time as well, I think that's what kind of made you guys stand out, because there was a lot of very similar sounding rappers, and I feel like what
at that time as well
was doing is different. Like me, so how I came into your music, so probably around like maybe 99 is before the album had dropped.
Yeah,
and I think I heard you lot on Westwood, and I was just really kind of getting into rap. So I'd been rapping for time, but I was really getting into recording and trying to take things seriously.
Right.
So I would have been like at college at that time, and I remember talking to Darren, our mutual friend.
Darren Sutherland.
Yeah.
Big up, young soul.
And I must have been, I think I was at his yard, and he was like, I think I was either talking about you lot or someone had mentioned it, and he was like, I know, they're my boys, I know them. I'm like, what? Like, nah, for real? Yeah, man, I know Phili. I'm just like, nah, you're lying, man. Like, there's no way. Because to me as well, to hear like, to me, you being on the radio, you're on the same same level as Jay-Z, DMX, Cannabis. Like, to me, Westwood played where, to me, like, instant superstars. And to be like, nah, wait, these guys rap and they're from Luton. And I was like, you know what I mean? I was super starstruck from day one. Like, nah, this can't be right. And I think one of the first times I met you was at Hockwell Ring.
Yeah.
And I think I must have been, like, I was still in college at the time, and I'd recorded a few things, like mad whack, but like, but
you know what? I don't even look at that as mad whack at the beginning. You know what I mean? You wouldn't be who you are now. You know what I mean? Doing the dope shit you're doing now if you didn't do them things there back in. You know what I mean? So,
but it's funny.
You might not be able to listen to it. The same way I can't listen to my first tune. You know what I mean? Other people can listen to it and it's cool for them. You know what I mean? You can't. It's going to be the same for you.
Yeah, but I think this must have been maybe a little bit after. So this might have been like 2001-ish. But 2000, because this is when I was still kind of in and around Luton. So I was done with Luton from 2001. So it's a bit before that. And I remember just playing you my stuff and just like, yeah, man, like, what do you think? And like in my mind, I was like, it's what's gonna happen, yeah. Like, they're gonna hear my music, then they're gonna be like, yep, boom, you're gonna be the next member of Phil Life Cypher. You're jumping in. That was my plan, man. It didn't work out, but it was. But I feel like
you should have just told me, man. I didn't really set that up.
But you know what? I feel like I don't think I would have been as serious about music if you lot hadn't done what you lot did. And even being at college and speaking to guys that knew you lot, like, I never knew, because I never really met Life till way after. So I think the first time I really met Life properly was at a show or something. And my experience with Life, the first time I ever saw Life, I was walking down like Lee Grave Road or something, and like on the way to basketball or something, and he must have seen someone that owed him money or something, man. And he must have pulled up in his car. He just pulled out. I just see this tall Rasta man just jump out the car, just start screaming at somebody. Yeah, I was looking like, wow, who's that? Like what? And I remember like and I just see him about and stuff. But that was literally like the first time I'd ever seen him, or first time I remember seeing him. But seeing him, then meeting him years later was like, oh, okay, cool, that's my man. But obviously, yeah. Then going college, obviously I was chilling with his younger brother and all that kind of stuff. So then I kind of you know what I mean. But yeah, it was definitely like a big look having you lot do what you lot did, because it inspired. I know it inspired me, and I feel like it inspired a lot of people. And if you look at just the diversity of music that's coming from Luton now, it's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Like some of my favourite artists come from Luton.
It's crazy how it's developed. Like, and I feel like proud to be able to even think that some people like started doing music or even got into music because of For Life Cypher and basically just feeling. Because for me, it's the same kind of thing that happened with me when I heard Life. Do you know what I mean? So it made it a reality and it made it accessible. Do you know what I mean? So for Life Cypher to have done what they've done, and it made anybody, even like yourself, think to yourself, you know what, I'm going to do that and inspire anyone to do that. For me, it's part of the job done. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't think anybody makes UK hip hop or started making UK hip hop to try and get rich or try and get famous or anything like that. It was about doing it for the love of doing it. Do you know what I mean? And kind of getting respect from your peers. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I've got enough respect from my peers for doing it. Do you know what I mean? But more than anything, I love doing it. Do you know what I mean? It gave me the opportunity to travel to countries that I would never have even thought about going to, let alone appreciate countries that I now have got a love for. Do you know what I mean? So music's been good for me. Do you know what I mean? And for me to have known, like I say, that anybody's inspired by what I do, even if it's helped them develop their lyrical style or even help them just to feel inspired to even just start something, for me, I think, you know what I mean, is wicked. So
with like being in, so we're gonna move from For Life Cypher, because you've done a lot since then as well. But being in that group, and I would say like there's only a few names you can really like you're gonna put For Life Cypher with. You're gonna say London Posse, you're gonna say Task Force, then you're gonna say For Life Cypher. And that's like legendary status in itself. And I feel like you lot have got the reverence, like people know when you talk about groups not like straight up, but also just individually lyricists. Like they're gonna mention you. We did the top 50 MCs, UK MCs on the page, on the HipHop UKTV page, and obviously you and Life was in there. I don't know.
It's weird. Do you
feel that?
It's weird though, you know. Nah, like it's weird because I don't even look. Whenever I see one of them top 50 rapper things, whatever not, I scroll straight past that shit. Right? And the thing is, it's not about me feeling any type of way because I'm not going to see my name in it or anything like that. But like, back to the question, what you were saying about did we ever feel any kind of like we were being ousted or anything like from the UK hip hop team? We didn't feel kind of ousted like that, but there were times where we knew we were doing things in UK hip hop when Hip Hop Connection was out. Yeah, I mean, we'd be buying Hip Hop Connection all the time. Do you know what I mean? And whenever there'd be like a chart of UK groups or UK rappers or albums or anything like that, For Life Cypher was we'd never even get a mention in it. Do you know what I mean? And for a while we was like feeling some type of way about it, like if they just got a problem with us or something like this, why they just forget about it type of thing. Do you know what I mean? And then even down to this was way before social media or anything like that. So now social media is like everybody on Facebook, your 50 favorite rappers on. You know what I mean? For a while I used to go through that list there, not even looking for my own name. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking for Life's name more than anything as well. Do you know what I mean? Because I've always considered Life to be better than me with lyrically as well anyway. Do you know what I mean? I know a lot of people thought that too, so I would at least expect to see his name in a lot of those lists. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of the time his name wouldn't even be in there as well. Do you know what I mean? And for me, that kind of like used to get on my nerves. Do you know what I mean? So, but now it doesn't bother me at all because, like I say, I'm doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? If I didn't like what I sounded like, I wouldn't rap. Do you know what I mean? So I know there's people who like what I do, and I know there's people who don't like what I do, and I'm fine with that. Do you know what I mean? But it's when it gets to the whole list thing and whatever not. I mean, it's like you've got a lot of people that will just think the same names in a list every single time. Do you know what I mean? Without even really thinking of any other rappers that they might like as well. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying they're meant to be in that list. I mean, but there's a lot of other rappers out in the UK that deserve to be mentioned in that as well. You know what I mean? So,
but this kind of helps my transition because I kind of like this, yeah, because I'm a person who I feel like that myself as well, yeah. And it's not what you just said about you're doing things that a lot of people aren't doing, but not being mentioned with these in that list, yeah. And I used to feel the same way until I started doing things that were just bigger than the scene.
Yeah.
And
not watching the scene, yeah.
Yeah. And then you're like, you know what? I don't even want to be in your list because like your list is a bunch of bums anyway. So that was my attitude, didn't it? So
yep. So, I mean,
that's my attitude. My attitude is like I'm like you as well. I look for the certain people that I look for. I'm like, all right, cool. You bigged up my man. Cool. All right, well, and then I'll see some other names and be like, for real? All right, cool. And it's funny because this attitude for me really hit me when Boom Bap first started. Yeah. And so I think it was like, it wasn't the first year, I think it was like the second year. And I remember being like, right, I ain't even getting a call. Like, nothing. So I did the track Underground King and was literally just cussing everybody. Because my thing was, the whole industry can hate me, man. I fug my way. I don't even care. Like, I'm not even really bothered because I'm doing bigger things. And when you did the Gorillaz track, to me, even like to this day, that's something that again, that just puts you on a whole nother, it's a whole different, it's like, all right, cool, you're doing this, but you're not doing that. Same with back in the day when I did Glastonbury, way before people even really doing Glastonbury like that. For me, I was like, all right, cool. I never got to do Kung Fu, but I did Glastonbury twice. So that was my attitude.
For me, that balances it out perfectly. You know what I mean? And trust me, I'm a firm believer of everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? So, like, even with the Gorillaz thing, you know what I mean? How that whole Gorillaz thing panned out was like, we were meant to actually be part of the Gorillaz. That were meant to be an ongoing thing moving forward. You know what I mean? For one reason or another, the main version of Clint Eastwood, Damon Albarn decided to use Del the Funky Homo Sapiens version instead of our version. So then that's what came out in the charts, and that's the version that everybody seemed to know. Do you know what I mean? But when it came to them actually having to go on tour, Del the Funky Homo Sapien didn't tour. He's an agoraphobic, so he wouldn't come out of his house for nothing. So then we ended up getting the call back from Gorillaz to basically do the UK tour in Scala. I mean, we went down to Japan, and then
that's crazy.
Did a few other. We did the whole UK tour, Japan. We were meant to go do America as well, but due to criminal records and things like that, we couldn't do the American leg of the tour. Do you know what I mean? So, which was lucky really at the end of the day, because one of the artists from the Gorillaz got arrested when they landed in Canada as well, and then Damon had to pay his bail and whatever not to get him back to the UK and everything as well. Do you know what I mean? So, but then for me, like, for a good while, I was bitter and twisted about the whole Gorillaz thing, where it didn't pan out to what it was meant to be. Do you know what I mean? He had us going to see music solicitors and everything like that, and talking about £1 million deals and £1 million houses and whatever not, and talking about, don't worry, you're never going to be broke again. And so I was with them thinking, right, you know what? We're set. We've got our own album coming out in a few months, and we're part of the Gorillaz as well. Do you know what I mean? So regardless of what goes on with our album, we're set. Do you know what I mean? But it didn't pan out that way. Do you know what I mean? So from having all these dreams and then all of a sudden having the dreams just dashed in your face up, I think for a good while I was pissed off. I was bitter about it. Do you know what I mean? But the older I got, the more I realised it wasn't meant for me anyway. Do you know what I mean? If I would have been in that like energy of what's going on there, do you know what I mean? If I was in that environment, I know I would have probably gone mad with it, got into a hell of a lot more drugs than I did anyway. Did a lot more drinking. You'd have probably seen me on the front of the news of the world every Sunday. For something. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I'm glad that I didn't, and I've ended up kind of like moving forward in my life the way it is. I'm not rich, I'm not famous or anything like that, but I'd rather that than what could have been sometimes, you know what I mean? So I'm always thankful for that. So
it's funny, man. I feel like the longer you're in the industry, the more things you see come to you or offered to you, and I think the more cynical you get. So the first few times things are offered to you, you're like, oh my God, this is gonna be it. This is crazy, and then the more you get them, you're just like, it's not going to be what they're telling me it's going to be. And you just...
But you know that because it never is.
Nah, man, like...
The more you get used to being able to do that, you're not letting yourself down when it comes to it as well. Then, do you know what I mean? So I kind of like got to do. I'm not trying to be too cynical, but I kind of always expect the fuckery rather than it going to be turning out smooth or anything like that, just so that I'm expecting what's coming on and I'm not going to be let down. Do you know what I mean? So it makes life easier like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I've been let down on music so many times. I've been let down with other things so many times. You know what I mean? So rather than even cook something up in my head and then. Like, I used to be one of them people there every time it was New Year. Yep, this is going to be the year. Yeah. This is going to be the year.
Yeah. Nah, man, I feel that.
Put that pressure on yourself anymore.
I feel that. So after like life after Phil Life Cypher, there was a time when you like kind of split up and you were doing your separate things.
Yeah.
You kind of you kind of took a different approach than. I feel like if you look at a lot of other groups that do kind of go through that, what normally happens is everyone just goes quiet. But you kind of took a different approach. I really just started just putting the work, man. Started working. Like, what was it that kind of? For me. Why?
Do you know what? It was a mix. It was a mixture of basically a bad breakup with Phili Cypher, which for me at that point I didn't even really want to continue doing music anyway. Do you know what I mean? And it was. A good probably 5 or 6 months before I even picked up a pen to do anything at all. Do you know what I mean? And the only reason I did do anything was because of Dots. Basically Dots was I kind of like only really just got to know Dots probably about a year before that, and he'd been constantly asking me, let's do a project, even just do a song type of thing. Do you know what I mean? And he came over and kind of convinced me to do some music. Do you know what I mean? And then for me it was like, you know what? Sorry, let me just do a couple tracks with Reminder because I was feeling him as a rapper as well. Do you know what I mean? And for me, even just to kind of like take my mind off of the breakup with Phili Cypher and how things were going, it was kind of a thing of like, you know what, let me just do this to prove to them, man, as well as prove to myself, you know, rather than winding myself and getting into like a beef thing with people online or whatever, not and getting into some stupidness. Let me just try and focus all this negative energy on something positive and make something out of it for myself type of thing. So it was kind of like a rebranding and a realization thing for myself as well. I mean, that whole situation grew me up a whole lot as well and made me realise there was a lot I needed to fix up about myself as well. Do you know what I mean? So I basically focused that time on trying to just bring out music and make myself more known as Phili as opposed to Phili as part of the Live Cypher type of thing. You know what I mean? So, and then the longer that went on for, the easier it was for me to just continue doing it, because I hadn't even released I've been doing music for probably 10, 15 years and I've never released a solo album or anything like that. And for me, it was like, you know, I need to at least get that done. Do you know what I mean? So I don't care if I don't do any music after that. Do you know what I mean? But I can't have been making music for all this time and then not have something that solidifies myself as being me, type of thing. You know what I mean? And the older I've got, the more honest I've got with my music as well. So. Did that answer your question? Or did I just ramble on that?
No, that's a. But also, you've kind of what I've noticed as well with a lot of me and you are quite similar in a lot of ways. We're music, but we're business. We're business first, and
business-minded,
right. So I'm a kind of person. I always look at I like modeling. Yes, I like looking at what are the people I look up to. What are they doing? What are they achieving, and how have they got it? So one thing I noticed about you is you're a revenue stream person. You do a lot of things. So what are the kind of different things you do outside of music?
Do you know what? There's so much that I end up getting involved with, and it's like to a certain extent, it's good because, like you say, it gets me involved in things and it gets me doing things. Do you know what I mean? But then at the same time, you know, when you're spinning plates and you've got too many plates that you're spinning all the time, do you know what I mean? I'm a great one for ideas. Yeah, I'm terrible for organisation and keeping myself and keeping things. So I mean, for me, I need other people around me to get those things done and kick my ass to make sure that those things are done as well. Do you know what I mean? So. For me, I always kind of I'm big on community. Do you know what I mean? So nice. I started an organisation called Pride a couple of years ago, which is basically to just try and encourage kids on their mountain bikes, do you know what I mean, who are seen in a negative way, do you know what I mean? And where you'll see them doing a wheelie down the road, in the middle of the road, onto incoming traffic, with their phone in their hand and their friends filming them and things, do you know what I mean? So I want to try and encourage kids and get a space for kids to be able to ride with Pride in an area, do you know what I mean, and not do and provide them with a safe space for them to be able to do these things, and then encourage them to do in these areas. Do you know what I mean? Rather than putting themselves in danger and other people in danger as well. And like a lot of the time, whenever you see like a lot of the roadman on the street, whatever, not 9 times out of 10 they're on a mountain bike, or doing some kind of juggling on a bike or whatever. Not, do you know what I mean? If them kids are always going to be there. Do you know what I mean? But if you can provide a safe space for the kids who don't really want to be in that environment, then you're kind of like solving part of the problem by doing that as well. Do you know what I mean? So, and one thing I find with the kids these days is that because of social media, times have changed so much as to when we were used. Do you know what I mean? Like part of their whole life is about social media now. Do you know what I mean? So they massage their ego through their social media accounts, whether they're Snapchat or Twitter or Instagram or whatever, not TikTok. And if they're not getting enough likes or enough attention on those social media platforms, that can kind of like even set up a little bit of depression in some of these youths. Do you know what I mean? Whereas you'll get kids now doing negative stuff on social media just to get that attention on there. Do you know what I mean? So I've seen some videos with kids fighting where they're fighting and they're holding the phone while they're punching the dude. Do you know what I mean? Where back in the day, if we were in the fight back in our day, we needed both hands to defend ourselves. Do you know what I mean? But these days, these youths the primary objective of the fight is to film it, to put on their Snapchat or on their thing. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you can provide these kids with something different to be able to massage their ego on, because they're always going to be on social media. So if you can provide them a platform to be able to do positive things online and get that chemical going through their brain there, that's going to make them give them a little bit of satisfaction rather than looking to do the negatives. Because you've seen it yourself, you can get famous online now for breaking stuff. Do you know what I mean? You can get famous online now just for doing the stupidest things ever. Do you know what I mean? So some people are going to have that lazy attitude there. Do you know what I mean? If we're going to continue making stupid people famous like that, do you know what I mean? You kind of like got to direct your children to be able to do the positive rather than just leaving them to their own devices, and then we're going to end up doing whatever they want. Do you know what I mean? So
man,
too many people have got social media. Too many people got social media bringing their children up now as well. So
100%, man, 100%. Like it used to be TV. Now it is social media. The difference is at a certain point, TV got turned off, whereas social media is on 24/7. You're involved in
constantly, and you can't. I mean, my mum could come in the room, my dad could come in the room and watch what I'm watching on TV and see it anytime. Do you know what I mean? But you can't monitor unless you're monitoring what your child's doing on that screen all the time. Do you know what I mean? But the problem I find as well with a lot of my work as well is that I find a lot of the parents are too interested in their own social media as opposed to what their children are doing on social media.
True. No, I feel that. I feel that, and I hear that. I think one of the crazy things as well. And I try to tell young people or try to at least explain it to young people is what's happened is because everyone's influencing each other, it's almost like it's like a chain, and because you're influencing each other, but no one's real in that circle. No one's really doing what they want to do. No one's thinking for themselves. No one's actually taking responsibility for actions. And the end product, what you're trying to do, again, you're trying to do it for the likes, for the clout, whatever. That's all well and good. The problem happens is at a certain point, you're going to interact with real life and real consequences. And that goes way beyond the likes, man. That goes way beyond your social media profile. And that affects your life in real life. And that's going to affect you in real life forever. And it's so... To us saying it sounds like obviously, but you have to remember a lot of these young people, they don't know any other reality other than this reality
at all,
which isn't even really reality. So it's man, it's a mad thing, man. It's definitely a crazy time. Definitely a crazy time we live in because it's a double-edged sword. We live in a time where you have a network, you can reach anybody, you can do so many different things. This interview we're doing now. You couldn't do this 10 years ago. You probably couldn't do this 5 years ago. The thing is,
I say this to all the youths I work with, especially the ones that are involved in music or anything like that as well. So, my daughter wanted you to show her your slime as well. Right? I say this to all the youths I work with. That back in the day when we were doing music, we used to have to write our lyrics. Make sure our lyrics were on point because then we had to book studio time and we didn't want to be wasting no time in the studio, going over lyrics again. Do you know what I mean? And then having to spend another £20 or another £30, right? Then we've got to hopefully get it on a DAT tape or get it burnt onto a CD. Then we've got to take that home, send that to every radio DJ we can find, and then send it to anyone we can find, every magazine, you know what I mean, the reviewed hip hop or anything like that. Then you're sitting down by the radio every Friday night, hoping Tim Westwood or Max and Dave were going to play your tune on a Wednesday night. Do you know what I mean? Or going down to the newsagent when the magazines were coming out. Do you know what I mean? And you're sitting there in the shop sifting through the reviews to see if you got a review. And if you got a review, you went to the counter and you bought the magazine. You know what I mean? So you got to spend a good hour in the shop just to do that. Right? So then I try and explain to these youths now, that they can record a tune, record a video, shoot a video, all in the same day on their phone. Right? They've literally got the world at their fingertips with the internet. Whereas, I mean, that device there is a tool to reach the world. Do you know what I mean? So rather than you trying to reach out for the rapper around the corner who said something about you, whatever not, why don't you try and reach out to the rest of the world who will be more interested in listening to what it is you're doing? Do you know what I mean? And like, use the internet to be the best version of you that you can be, rather than trying to be somebody else that you're not. Do you know what I mean? You're trying to be that other person there and trying to do what he's doing, rather than doing what it's some of the youths I work with. I'll ask them what their interests are, whatever not. Do you know what I mean? And none of them will tell me, I like to cook. Yeah. And you're a roadman there. You're a roadman walking around with a Rambo knife, whatever not. Do you know what I mean? But you like to cook. I was like, would you tell your mates that you like to cook? And he's like, no, I can't tell them that. And I was like, well, if you can't tell your mates that you've got an interest in cooking, they're not your mates. They're not your mates. You think Gordon Ramsay couldn't tell his mates that he liked cooking?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? These kids are they're too, but at the same time as well, a lot of the youths haven't been taught how to communicate or how to express themselves or to be themselves as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's part and parcel of basically.
That's see what you just said there as well. Not even understanding how you express yourself. Like, what do you like? Yeah. And it's funny because obviously we do a lot of the same things. So you'll be in a situation where you walk into a school or a crew or whatever, and you got a bunch of kids, and you ask them a simple question. It could be anything. What you been doing today? I don't know, man. Why don't you like? Yeah. And the conversation I always have after that is, okay, this is. I don't care what your answer is. I don't ever want to hear you say I do not know, unless you really do not know. Because what happens when you say you don't know, you start to think you don't know and act like you don't know. It's a state of mind. And that's the thing. It's like, why are you scared?
You put a mental block up on yourself.
Why are you scared of saying what you really think around these people? You're a bad man, right? Well, you're walking around road with your belly and your rams, but you can't even muster up the strength to say what you really think, to say what's on your mind. And this is like a conversation I have with people, with young people so much. And once they get it, like, nah, do you know what? Never be scared to say what you think. Because if you are scared to say what you think, then you know what I mean, you might have to rethink this bad man act you're doing, because I don't believe it.
Man, I don't believe it, and it's not convincing. Especially when the fact, I mean, most of these kids, you can't even get them. You ask them, like you said, ask them what do you like. You know what I mean? And I'll leave kids sometimes like, you know what, I'm coming back to see you. It's Wednesday. I'm coming back to see you Friday. Yeah, I need you to give me a list of at least 5 things that make you you and that you like doing. Yeah, because there's got to be something that you like doing. You know what I mean? And some of these kids are just like, I'll come back on the Friday. They still haven't got a clue about what it is that they like or what makes them them. Do you know what I mean? And if it's down to a sport or something that they used to like or something like that, but because of what they think that other people might think, they don't want to say it.
You know what I mean? It's sad, man. It's a sad thing.
I mean, but the thing is that people have always been too worried about what other people think as well. And with social media, you can see what people think as well. So then it makes it even harder for people to then want to express themselves. Do you know what I mean? People will like a tune and they might even say they like the tune until they see someone else likes it.
This is true. This is definitely true, man. So we're going off on one, man. We're going off on one. I'm gonna like, when lockdown is done, we're gonna do this again in the studio proper. So
cool.
We're gonna come back to a lot of these subjects. So last thing I really want to just touch on is really what's the future for you? What are your future plans as far as music and business and whatever, man?
Yeah, music wise, well, we've got the For Life album coming out. It was basically meant to be coming out in 2012. It's now coming out this year. Do you know what I mean? So big up Napa and big up Life for that as well. But it's a mixture of like majority tracks we recorded back in 2012 and a few new tracks we recorded over the last couple of years as well. So that will definitely be coming out this year. We've been threatening to bring that out for the last couple of years, and it's definitely coming back out now. So I've got my label Phoenix Recordings. So there's a few artists on there. MC Killer from Caxton Press. I've got Charm on the label as well. Do you know what I mean? So they're 2 dope artists that you really need to. waylaying it for too long now because they've got a ton of material here sitting in my vault here now. I mean, it needs to come out. So I just want to, well, we've got the time now to have a sit down and think about what we're doing. We're going to package that up and get that out right now. Do you know what I mean? So business-wise, it's about me trying to just get Phoenix Recordings to the level where I wanted it to be at a couple of years ago, really, and just bring out a load of music. Do you know what I mean? So it's an artist called N from Newton as well.
Okay.
She's a neo soul vocalist. She's amazing as well, man. So I've got a project with her we're releasing as well, and hopefully before the end of 2021, another Phili album as well. Do you know what I mean? So I've got a project with Leaf Dog that I'm releasing in the next few months as well. So, but that'll be coming out on Phoenix Recordings as well. But yeah, aside from that, I'm really just trying to just keep my finger in as many pies as possible, like business-wise, and trying to get, like, obviously continue with my community work with the charity that I work with as well, and just try and get some of the youths involved in a few different things here and there. Do you know what I mean? And hopefully at some point get some funding to get this Pride bike spot open for some of the kids in Luton to be able to go out and express themselves there as well.
That sounds cold, man. That sounds cold.
Yeah, so, yeah. There's a lot of music on the way though still. So,
heavy.
But for me, I'm kind of like I'm just releasing music as and when. Really, I'm not going to be on like release dates and trying to hype up anything like that. I'm really just releasing music for I love releasing music now. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of it will probably be free, and I'll just dash it out there rather than trying to market it and do anything with it like that. Do you know what I mean? So.
That's all good, man. Well,
but if you like it, pay for
it. Always, man. Always. People be talking like they support. You ain't supporting it, you're paying, man. Like
that's the thing, though, boy. Do you know what I mean? It's all about the physicals and and like merch and everything like that. Do you know what I mean? If you ain't got your finger in them kind of pies there and doing that thing, you ain't making nothing from this, man.
It's true, man. I mean? And I feel like you're one of the pioneers of that as well. Like I see you really putting your merch together. I feel like a lot of artists miss out on that. They don't understand. Like we need to.
It's the whole package, though. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's nothing you say, even down to like just when I work with a lot of youths here. Do you know what I mean? I guess youths that can rap their ass off. Do you know what I mean? They've never done a live show in their life. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, in Luton, there isn't anywhere for them to. Like me and Life, we used to be in his front room and we were practicing. His front room was our rehearsal room. Do you know what I mean? So, but a lot of these kids will, like I say, will rap their ass off, but don't know about performing. Do you know what I mean? Or how to actually crowd control and doing things like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's a whole different process. I mean, it's things like that. I feel like kids need to get taught to make them realise what it's about. Do you know what I mean? And then you got half the kids there who want to be the rapper, but the only reason they want to be the rapper is because they believe that they're going to be the most famous one or the most successful one, being the front man type of thing. Not realising I could be the dude behind the camera. If I'm the dude behind the camera, I'm shooting all these other rappers' videos as well. So I'm getting paid for shooting all these rappers' videos. I'm making more money than every single one of these rappers.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm probably getting bigger. Do you know what I mean? Look at Jamal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's exactly what Jamal did with SB TV. Do you know what I mean? So for him to have done that, and then a lot of rappers not even realise that, do you know what I mean? And they're just thinking, no, I'll pay him just to go on his channel type of thing. Why don't you build your own channel?
Yeah, 100%. And you can, people watching this now, you can look at the videos on this actual channel and see the work that's been put in. Like I started that a while ago, and that was really the idea. Was I want a platform, man. I don't always want to be the front man. I want a platform. I want how can I? It's easy for me to build myself up, but how do you build up others? Like how can you build up other artists and give someone a place and a space where they can show their talent? So that was definitely the idea behind when I started this channel. I don't know how many years ago. Yeah. And it's
big up for that though, man. What I rate about you is the way that you've always kind of like just done what you want to do and done you. Do you know what I mean? You're not. I mean, you'll always see you doing a different thing there. Do you know what I mean? And you're proper vocal on Twitter and things like that. You know, 9 times out of 10, you're talking sense. If you ain't talking sense, you're not talking. Do you know what I mean? So
the beauty of
that, and I rate
the beauty of being blackballed, man. It's like I felt like there was a time where people just weren't like you say how you felt. People just weren't respecting what you're doing, and I feel like it's a really good place to be as a creator, because then you're really not trying to please anybody. You're really
at all.
You're really thinking about, okay, well, what is it that I want to do? Same with the platform. Okay, cool. Well, they're not going to let me on their platform. Then how about I do my own platform? How about I do that?
But that's the thing. At the same time, though, you've got to have the tenacity to think I'm going to get through this and do what I want to do anyway. Do you know what I mean? Rather than there's a lot of people there that negative vibe they'll get will just knock them off the feet, and they won't bother doing it anymore after that. Do you know what I mean? You've continued to plow through and plow through and plow through, to get where you are now. Do you know what I mean? And
so it's got to be, man.
Big props to that. Props to that, man. Serious.
Nah, respect, man. Like I said, I wouldn't even have been doing this if it wasn't for the foundation. What you lot did is there's a lot of artists that I could say thank you to. You're definitely one of them. So yeah, man. Thank you to you. Thank you for coming on, giving up your bank holiday Monday.
That's cool, man. I wasn't doing much else anyway, man. It's like lockdown vibes, you know what I mean?
That's why I'm grabbing everybody right now. They can't run, man. Like I said, I know where everybody is.
Trust me, you know everyone's at home, innit?
Exactly, man.
You ain't at home, where you at?
Nah, peace and love, man. But bro,
let's get some music done as well, yeah?
Oh, 100%. We got we'll talk. The mic is here. Like the mic is right here.
Yeah.
It's
my mic's right there. My mic's right there. I'm gonna send you a beat when we get off this call.
Yeah, all right, let's do that, man. Yeah. Let's definitely do that.
All right, let's do that.
But bro, thank you very much, man. And I'll chat to you soon, brother.
Peace, man.
Peace, man.
Peace out, people. One.
Yeah. So that's the one. Like I'm gonna play this new track that was sent to me by Phili yesterday. Let me see if I got this right here. Like this is cold, man. But yeah, big up you lot, big up Phili, big up the legendary For Life Cypher. Follow, hit subscribe, share this out, man. Let people know we're out here doing this, man. But I hope everyone's having as much of a stress-free lockdown as you can. I hope your family's safe. I hope everyone's blessed. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you with this one.
Yo, this is Phili, what up? Of the mighty For Life Cypher. Yeah. 1/3 of the group alongside Live MC and DJ Napper. Yep. We went through many ups and downs as a group, and also solo acts too. Real. Sometimes I sit back and think what we had was too good to be true. We had our disagreements, as families usually do. We toured most of the globe and put L-Town on the map. Even did work with the Gorillas and we thought that was that. With these two classic albums of conscious classical rap back to back. For some stupid reason, sometime around 2012 we fell out, and that was a wrap. But then rather than drop, I started filling in dots. Released another classic album called Filling the Dots to Fill in the Spot. Everything was going good with Richie Spitz in the spot. Had shows all over Europe and had the country in lock. And then for one reason or another, everything stopped. So now it's just back to side Philly that's rocking the spot. I've done quite a lot in this game and I've taken some knocks, but I refuse to sit back and have my confidence knocked. Even though in this game sometimes it feels like I'm lost in the plot. But at the end of the day, this music's all that I got. It's just hip hop. Yo. Listen, it's Philly, Leaf Dog, yo. So when I fail, I keep trying again. So when I fail, I keep trying again. When you're feeling like it's your last chance, feeling like it's the last dance, it's time for you to start acting like you got carte blanche. You can't glance life like you've only got one shot, and quitting just gonna keep you sitting up in the one spot. It's all well and good when you're hotter than gunshots, but shit can get depressing when the love and the fun stops. I used to sit chilling doing nothing but bum crops. Some modified my aim like them rifles with bump stops. The slump stops, now I'm getting back on my horse. Start to focus and feel myself getting back on my course. Start learning from my mistakes and not repeat them again. Don't keep myself in positions to keep pleasing my friends. Stop listening to the leaders that are seeking suspense. Just concern yourself with the people that you see to the end. And yo, and if it don't happen, don't let it beat ya, cause experience has always been known as the best teacher. Don't wanna feel like crying again, just wanna feel like I'm flying again, not dying again. So when I fail, I keep trying again. So when I fail, I keep trying again, keep trying again. Don't wanna feel like crying again, just wanna feel like I'm flying again, not dying again. So when I fail, I keep trying again. So when I fail, I keep trying again. I guess I died again. I'm rap resilient, handle my business with due diligence, but I'm sick of being broke when there's people calling me brilliant. The filament, trying to bring some light to the game, trying to show the young and success it isn't all about fame. Sometimes you need to think out of the box before you can gain, and sometimes you need to humble and to stay in your lane and try again. Start evaluating the strain, and don't let the pressure of life start to weigh on your brain. Don't see other people's success and start to hate on the name, when yourself and procrastination should be taking the blame. Life ain't a game, sometimes you get knocked in your ass. How you gonna know when you won when you ain't failed in the past? And the next time I'm winning, I'll be making it last and investing my money in